All the content contained in this webcast is for informational purposes only. The investments and strategies contained in this webcast may not be suitable for you. Please consult your own independent financial advisor before making any investment or trading decisions. Welcome back, Dennis. Market mover portion of our show here. Looks like we have Chesapeake Energy on the move.
Chesapeake Energy is on the move, Joel. Announced earnings last night. The stock actually sold off, and then it rallied, and then it sold off, so it's kind of like a yo-yo. Now it has sold off, so it looks like it is settling down here. It's trading at 24 bucks right now after closing at 24.62. So trading down 62 cents on their report. Yesterday's low at 24.54, that could come into play, but the day before that, we had a low there, Joel, at 24.06. So maybe if I had a little initial support in this 24, but sometimes Chesapeake can get on a wild ride too. It's a little bit of a higher beta stock, so don't be surprised if it does cut through that 24 and then start to think about going down to that 23 area. What do you think on CHK, Joel?
Yeah, well, it's been all over the map in the pre-market here, but now it's settled down a little bit. I would use that 24.62 as very good resistance there. That was right with the low as well at 24.54, so I'm going to call that resistance now. Now, looking at what this thing did in the pre-market, Dennis, the pre-market low has been under that $24 level, 23.85. So it doesn't look like that 24 is going to. You have a gap down, Dennis, but 24. If 24 doesn't hold, I look for it to test the 23.79. Below that, Dennis, things really open up to at least the $23 level.
Yeah, I'd agree with that too. Dell reported earnings here too last night, Joel. The stock has sold off a lot. It's down almost 7%, down $1.22, trading at $16.99 after closing at $18.21. So not a good report at all for Dell. It's been on a heck of a run. It's been on a 2-month tear from the 1450 area up to 1836 there yesterday, making a new 52-week high, and obviously now that's all out of play as the stock is now trading in the 17 area. We did have a couple tops there in mid-January around that 17, so if you think resistance could become support again, then maybe that 17 gives you a little initial support, but I don't know. It's been trading through the 17 quite a bit in the pre-market here too, Joel, so I'm not sure how well that level is going to hold. What do you think from a technical basis?
Yeah, I mean, if you have to buy this thing off the open, I'd keep an eye on 1685. It hit that in the pre-market. It's kind of been on a steady climb since then, not very far. I'd use that 17 as a swing number. That $17 area has been holding basically for the entire month. But below that, if they really see some profit taking in this stock, you could see 1650 to 1655. You had a series of lows back in that area at the end of January, so 1650 would be major support in Dell today.
Toll Brothers, which is TOL, reported earnings swinging to a loss, an unexpected loss. The stock is trading down, not as bad as it was. It's starting to bounce back a little bit here, Joel. 23.10 now after closing at 23.70, so it's only down 60 cents now. Was trading, I think, down as 22.5 if I've got that right, Joel. So it's trading quite a bit lower here earlier. So we've had a nice rally from the lows here in the pre-market. Still not looking that great if you were long from last night. I am seeing some size form up in the 23.80 area, so call that 23.70. I think that whole settlement area will probably be some initial resistance if it continues its rally, and obviously that 22.5 where it was going to in the pre-market may provide support if it gets back down there. What do you think, Joel?
I did see a print here at 22.25, and then and its bounce has pretty much been straight up since then, peaking right here at 23.10. I think you do have to keep an eye on the series of lows. The last 5 lows were between 23.23 and 23.51. So I think after trading as low as 22.25, I think that area is going to be met with huge resistance. Coming back on the downside, it's going to be tough to get back down to that 22.25 level. but there was some pretty good support around 23, which we've already taken out. Gap to fill, Dennis, down from 22 in the 22 and a quarter area. So I'll tell you, it's going to be tough to get it back down there. I'd be surprised if they got it back that low.
MGM reporting earnings here as well, Joel. The stock actually sold off pretty significantly, now rallying too. So some of these stocks that were selling off earlier in the pre-market on disappointing results, actually not as bad now. MGM's trading down only 19 cents now at 14 bucks. Joel will tell you about the pre-market low there. I'll let him give that information to you. 14.01 actually bid now. Looking if this thing really started to go into rally mode, obviously yesterday's high in this whole 14.85 area is going to be significant resistance. But I think 14, maybe use that as a good swing number. But 14.07, this thing's trying to rally back to settlement here, Joel. What was the pre-market low on that?
I do see a print of it 1350.
1350.
Yeah.
So again, we've rallied pretty good off of that.
Yeah, we rallied, considerably off that. So I'd use that 1350 as an absolute bottom here. 1355 was a low on February 2nd. Getting more into yesterday's range, 14 was also 1398 was yesterday's low. So use 14 as your swing number if you're trading this. And I agree with you, Dennis. If you get back up into that 1450 area, I think you'll find resistance before you get to the 1485 level, which was hit yesterday.
MOS, which is Mosaic Company, had a settlement there after the bell. Stock really got a lift, trading up 59.22 it's trading at right now after closing at 56.91. So nice lift for Mosaic. 58 bucks is where it's breaking out from. If it was to pull back into that 58 area, I think you might find some support there now. And if you go back here in the late November, we had a high of 60.35, just taking out that 60 area. Big psychological number. You got to think the 60 might come into play, Joel.
Yep, I'm looking at the pre-market high. It's 59.69. After that, it pulled back into the 58.50 area, and now it's testing that area again at 59.50. So it's major resistance from 59.50 up to that pre-market high at 59.69. Also, the psychological $60 level. Didn't look at all the ins and outs of the settlement, but if it goes into sell-off mode, can't hold 58 and a 50, I'd look out being long the stock.
NFX lowered guidance there yesterday, and actually getting a downgrade here today. So stock is trading down significantly too. 42.25 is where it closed. It's trading at 39.5 right now, Joel. So really selling off. I had some prints going off at 39 earlier this morning. Quite a few prints actually going off at 39. So that area might give you some support, initial support. If it takes out that 39 area though, then the 38 area looks pretty big too.
Yeah, I mean, I'd had the initial support at 39.5. That was a low. 39.36 and 39.39 were some highs that you had from last week in that stock. Below the panic low here at 38.99, there's really not any. I mean, there's a straight up line when it went from 38 to 39.50. Perhaps it will have a similar pattern on the downside if that pre-market low at 38.99.
Hewlett Packard, Joel, also reporting earnings. They didn't give the time, but they usually report after the bell, so I'm assuming it's going to be after the bell. Again, obviously they haven't reported yet. So assuming after the bell for Hewlett Packard, Dell obviously had their earnings, so that's putting a little bit of weakness in Hewlett Packard here before their report. 29.20 is where Hewlett Packard is trading down 15 cents. This 30 bucks is absolutely enormous on this stock. We had two highs there the other day. I did notice some significant size up there too. So after the bell, maybe it draws. If it has a good report, that $30 is going to be a big hurdle for it. If it can get above there, then it starts to look pretty bullish again. But I'd probably still play from the short side until it can break out over that 30.
The Hewlett Packard's had a major run here, Dennis, since Meg Whitman's taken over, and you're right, topping out in that $30 area. I'd be focusing on this 29. That was a couple lows that you had. You had 28.93 and 28.97 were some lows that you had from last week. Also, it briefly touched 29.10 in the pre-market. So I try to hold on to the longs. I try and play the support off 29, but this 29 can't hold, especially on a closing basis. This stock could definitely pull back and test some of that strong up move it had from the, I believe, what did it do? Get down to 22 or 21.50. Yep,
Man,
pretty good.
unbelievable. They kind of over capitulated that move, I think. Though I don't know if you're going to see 21.50 on Hewlett Packard anytime soon again. But it's had a good run. It's come back a long ways from when they said they were getting out of the PC business. Remember they were saying, I don't know, that's what they do. What do you mean you're getting out of the PC? So but then they've come and they've taken those comments back since then, and the stock has been slowly in rally mode for the last few months here. So getting back that $30 psychological number. Other market movers, we're running short on time, so I just mentioned Garmin reported it's up $6, but and there's a few other ones too. What do you want to close with here, Joel? Anything you want to say to our listeners?
Yeah, I just everyone's looking for when this monster rally is going to come to an end, and it's impossible to predict. Just looking at the day, but I'm going to draw a line in the sand here at 13.55. We bounced off the pre-market at 13.56.50. So as long as we're above 55, 13.55 on a closing basis, rally's still intact, but we are starting to show some chart formations that show testing some support and have some potential weakness in the market. That's our show for today, folks. We'll be back with you tomorrow.